Welcome back to Leaders Live. I'm Charlie Stevens, your host. We had a great episode last week with Hans Humes, the CEO and founder of Greylock Capital Management. The key takeaway was understanding the culture of the people you're trying to do business with. That gives you the ability to adapt and collaborate in a like-minded business sense. Today we are on 39th and 7th Avenue to meet with Metaprop Venture Capital, a venture capital fund that invests in real estate technology funds. We're meeting with the co-founder, Aaron Block, on the 7th floor of 214 West 39th Street. Let's go. Welcome back to Leaders Live. We are getting going. Aaron Block, co-founder of Metaprop Venture Capital. Welcome to the show. Excited to get going. Before we get going and we get into all your amazing accolades and tips, why are we doing the show, right? You're a real estate guy. You help real estate companies find the best office space. I know, but listen, I'm trying to build a network here with some industry leaders like yourself so that we can understand how you operate and connect you with other like-minded business professionals. I think that gives a little bit more value than coming in here and just talking, rent rolls or whatever it may be. I want to connect you so you build your business, this company builds their business, and it's a beautiful thing. We all grow. And we want to have some fun too, all right? We're going to have some fun. We're going to do live Q&A. We got Eric Thomas over here, Cushman & Wakefield, taking the Q&A. So submit your questions. Submit your questions on the comments below, and let's get going with Aaron Block, author as well of Prop Tech 101. So if you don't know about it, be about it. Pick it up, nearest bookstore, Amazon. You got a nice background here. You started at Cushman, nice real estate shop.
I'd like to thank Cushman & Wakefield as one of our sponsors.
Yes, Cushman. So Cushman, you went to Russia. You led.
I'd like to thank the Russian government, another one of our sponsors.
Yes, that's your sponsor, not ours.
Just kidding.
Yeah, but I mean, you grew the top e-commerce site, I guess, in Russia, connecting Amazon, eBay, all this stuff. So there was an intersection of real estate in the beginning, technology, and now you've kind of merged this. But walk us through the early background in the early business of Aaron Block.
So the business of Aaron Block was entrepreneurship.
Yes.
As a kid, all I wanted to do was have a hot dog cart or an ice cream stand or a painting franchise or a DJ business. No, I didn't design on that, but I did do a lot of those things. And then real life came about after graduating university at the University of Illinois, Charlie. And when you graduate from the University of Illinois, you have two choices. You either have in the year 2000 you have Arthur Anderson, or you have not Arthur Anderson.
Okay.
Those are the two career tracks. Yeah, you're probably too young to even know what Arthur Anderson is.
I'm a Chicago guy, all right?
Yeah.
I'm a New York guy.
They're out of business now. Anyway, so I went non-Arthur Anderson, and I ended up in real estate because Cushman & Wakefield. Everyone in Chicago knew Cushman & Wakefield. Nobody in Chicago knew Cushman & Wakefield. Nobody at the University of Illinois knew Cushman & Wakefield, but I had heard of it because it was a fabulous firm with a great pedigree from the East Coast. Yep. And I got a job as a trainee there, and that was the beginning of Aaron corporate life.
Yes.
And for 10 years, I had a chance to work with some of your colleagues over there and build a career in office leasing. And
built a business in Russia.
Which
is great. But I think we've talked in the past, too. You learned a little bit of the art of deal making, I think, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Yeah, deal making, thankfully, has been something that stayed with me from those early days. Yeah. I learned in the School of Hard Knocks here in New York City, working with Eric Thomas across the table and many other great brokers that still are in the business today. And those lessons have stayed with me. We do deals now all the time. We do venture capital deals. Yeah. The actual transactions are different, but the fundamentals are exactly the same. And having grown up in a transactional business like real estate has been incredibly helpful throughout my career.
Right, and you leverage those relationships and the technology background into what you're doing today with Metaprop. Let's talk through what Metaprop is for the viewers so they can understand a little bit about the business and the services you provide. We're here in this fabulous office on 39th Street.
Welcome to Prop Tech Place. So the Economic Development Corporation of New York and Metaprop launched Prop Tech Place, which is now the physical home for real estate technology globally. You can check it out at proptechplace.nyc. We have
that.
co-working, we have events, and we have some really cool showrooming going on of new and innovative real estate technologies. So where does Metaprop fit into this prop tech world, one might ask? And I think that's where you're going with the question. We invest in and help grow early stage real estate technology companies.
Yeah.
Early stage real estate technology being prop tech. So we're venture capitalists at our core. We raise money from some of the smartest institutional investors in the world, including Cushman & Wakefield, believe it or not. And then we deploy that capital into tomorrow's technologies, tomorrow's entrepreneurs, the folks who are coming to essentially take your job away from you.
Yes, we see the technology.
Hi, job.
Yeah, exactly. You also have an accelerator that's coming up too.
Yeah,
August
yeah.
15th for anybody who wants to be a part of the Metaprop family.
Yeah.
What's going on with that? Because I know I've actually had a few people reach out who are probably watching right now that want to be a part of the accelerator.
It's one of the fun things we get to do.
Yeah.
Most venture capital firms will start an accelerator program in order to get more deal flow and to put them out in the market more. We were actually the other way around. We started an accelerator program because we thought acceleration was what the market really needed. It brought together all the stakeholders and it gave us a chance to institutionalize the support that we as angel investors gave to startups when we first started this business in late 2014 and early 2015. Well, now it's just something fun that we get to do, really diving deep for 22 weeks with some great entrepreneurs, 5 to 8 of them in every class, and run them through the Metaprop way. Give them access to capital, access to customers, strategy, communications, mentorship. It's a fun program. We run New York City Real Estate Tech Week right in the middle of the program. It ends with a demo day in New York and a demo day on the West Coast. Every year we look forward to it, so do the mentors, partners, investors in our space. So anybody who's interested in really supercharging their real estate technology startup should apply to the Metaprop Accelerator at Columbia University.
Yeah, and the access to the landlords and everybody else in your network is very important, obviously. But let's work our way into building that network. I mean, how did you build that network of everybody around you? Obviously, you have the real estate background, but like maybe how'd you mature those relationships and stay close with everybody so that you got where you are today?
And Charlie, it takes a village to do what we do. Early stage technology startups, it's a really hard corner of the universe to be helpful in and be an expert in. So I've got great partners, Zach Aarons, who's really the high priest of prop tech, and also the co-author of Prop Tech 101. Grew up in industry, his family business for many years. Millennium Partners, big developer in gateway cities around the United States. So, many of us grew up in industry, left, did tech and investments, and came back to the overlap of the two. That initial foundational relationship base in the industry, I think, was an unfair advantage for us when starting a real estate technology or prop tech venture capital firm. And then over time, the partners that we've brought into our orbit, whether it be community organizations like Columbia University, which has a heavy real estate program on the architecture planning side, but also on the business school side, organizations like Enterprise Community Partners, which is the top advocacy and funding group for affordability of housing in the United States, whether it be limited partners in our funds like Cushman & Wakefield, or its peers, or Prudential, or some of the others, has really expanded upon that foundation that we as individuals brought to the table. And then, of course, our startups. We have 108 portfolio companies over the years that we've invested in just in the prop tech space. And as they matriculate and grow and build customer base and advisor base, those folks also come into our Metaprop world. So it's really a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you say you want to do it, you lean into it, and you start doing it, it starts to happen, right? If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what happened for us.
Right, that's great. And it also, if you build it, to build it, you need to be able to communicate. You need to, if you want to collaborate with somebody or talk to somebody what you're doing, a clear communicator of what you're doing, right? And I think that's something you teach as well to some of these startup companies. But there's a strong importance on communication. Can you elaborate on that a little bit and what?
In the old days, I used to have one of those bullhorns at my desk in the office in corporate life before I got into e-commerce, and it was basically when I was a real estate guy, and we would use that to kind of beat the story home. Well, that doesn't work anymore. You can't just shout at people. You need to have a two-way street. So we've worked really hard here at Metaprop to allow the different stakeholder groups in our orbit a chance to interact with each other, to really be the connective tissue between what used to be really independent groups. And we, I think, are in the process of solving that connectivity issue and really creating an interdependence of groups like startups, like venture capitalists, like industry players like Cushman & Wakefield, like the media, and like enthusiasts, folks like Eric Thomas, who are really just junkies for real estate technology, love new tech, love
guy.
helping. He's an interesting fellow. And we like putting those people together and creating the interactions, formalized and informally, to allow them to productively spend time with each other.
Right. Before we get into the Q&A with Eric Thomas,
The Eric Joshua Thomas.
Make sure you're submitting your questions so that Eric can present them to us.
The third?
You have an advisory board as well.
We have an advisory
and
board?
I think that's part of the network. How did you go about selecting that advisory board? I mean, I think that's something that's key for somebody who's a founder, maybe building, a large group, and you want a good group around you. So talk about maybe your advisory board.
Yeah, it's something that's been a big part of my life, Charlie. Folks who knew me early in my career knew that I was always coached by family, including my father in particular, to set up a personal board of advisors, people you can go to for major life decisions. I can think of a few interesting examples early in career where I really took advantage of that during tough turning points and milestones in my professional life.
Give us an example.
I had just secured a big exclusive for a 100,000 square foot occupier here in Manhattan on my own as a 23-year-old or 24-year-old in the space with no help from any of my business partners, and I was really trying to figure out how to best position that inside of the firm to put the right team together. I went to one of my board of advisors with whom I had been close over the couple of years, and he said, take it straight to the CEO of the company. And I walked down to Bruce Moser's office with my signed exclusive and said, Bruce, this has got to be the best of the best. It's got to be the team. He said, I subscribe to this. I want to do that too. Go to this person, that person, the next. It was great advice. It worked out really well. It's just one use case, but over the years, that idea of an informal personal board of advisors really evolved into having an advisory board for my various businesses. So one thing I've valued really above most other things in life has been diversity. I happen to be a Caucasian, white, Jewish guy in a real estate and investment business based in New York. It's nice to get some other perspectives around the table. An advisory board is one of the few ways that you can get really smart people who have looked at things from different perspectives to the table to help you look at strategy and make sure that what you say you're going to do and what you're actually doing are, number one, in the right direction, and number two, aligned with each other. So that's been really great. And we have a great advisory board here, folks who have been at GE Capital and GE Ventures, Bridgewater, the head of Tech NYC. We've got folks who have run real estate at Cerberus. I mean, we've really put together a crack group of people from different backgrounds, different perspectives, different areas to make sure that this crazy idea we have of helping the real estate technology community get supercharged can be achieved while we continue to just grind out in the weeds and do all the hard work. So.
Yeah.
It's a check on us. It's a network for us. It's something we preach to our startups, to the ones who are capable of dealing with this and who can think this way. Our approach has always been use all the brains you got and borrow as many as you can. I think Woodrow Wilson or someone said that. We subscribe to that, and we encourage others who have similar personality types and leadership types to get on board with it. It's a nice mousetrap that's served us well so far.
Well, it's the importance of team, I think, right? Is that what, right? And I think that
Yes.
you look for that.
There's no I in team.
Yes, I believe that too. But you look for that in startups too, right? I mean, what type of team, collaboration are you looking for these startups or any investment?
Man, it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. You spend a lot of time with these folks. It's really, really hard. There is no one thing you need to be great at to be a great entrepreneur, startup CEO. You need to be pretty darn good at a lot of things, whether it be sales, business development, tech, HR, legal. I mean, you need to be finance, accounting. You got to be pretty good at a lot of things, which means you're going to need specialists around you, people who are smarter than you are, people who challenge you and help you think. It takes a group of smart financiers, a group of smart service providers. It takes great real estate advice. I mean, you really need to put together a winning team in order to survive in these competitive times. It's easier than ever to start a new startup business, technology business. It's also harder than ever to compete when the barriers to entry are so low. So putting together the right team, job one. There's a guy we know in the space, in the venture capital space. He comes and speaks to our Columbia University Startup Accelerator portfolio companies, and he says, when I look at a deal, he doesn't talk like this, but I'm going to dramatize it for you. When I look at a deal, I look for 5 things. Team, 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 and then team. Team's important, Charlie.
I think so. Somebody else is important is Eric Thomas. He's here. He's going to start firing off some questions from the viewers that we have here. Eric, welcome to the show. I wish you were back on camera. You were in the beginning, but what kind of questions are coming in?
Good to see you both.
It's nice to see you, Eric.
Very interesting so far.
Thanks
you.
for joining us.
First question from Connor at Captate. Connor has a question for Aaron. Aaron, we're moving some of our operations to New York City at the end of July. Is it important for you guys when looking at startups to invest in whether all the team is in one room, 9 to 6, or have you seen startups work that have more flexible working conditions? Would love to hear your thoughts on this.
Connor, good to hear from you. Guy I know, and a good guy.
Good.
I would say do what works for your culture. That's my experience. I've run a business that's had multiple folks in multiple offices during fast growth in the very early stages of development and found it to be very hard for me. I am not a very talented manager. I need to have the great people around all the time communicating with each other and communicating back with me. I've seen other early stage startups run by very good friends of mine where there isn't even an office. Folks don't interact face to face, but have leveraged technology and have discipline for communications in order to take care of it. Connor, do what works for you. Do what's best for you. Love you.
I like that. Eric, what else we got here?
Great. Our friend Wouter from Holland
Out there!
has stepped in from
That's
Holland
great.
Contact Prop
I
Tech.
love
What a
the
great guy.
suspenders.
Good friend.
That's great.
Best suspenders in the
Look at that.
game. Connect with Wooter.
Big suspender game. He's looking forward to the upcoming Prop Tech Week.
Whoa,
Real
we didn't
estate
talk
week.
about that, did we?
And he wanted to hear your thoughts on the agenda and who's going to be speaking and who you're looking forward to speaking. And also, as a follow-on question, which speaker, if you don't have them already, would you look most forward to having in the future come speak at one of these events?
Oh, that's great. So New York City Real Estate Tech Week is coming up, Charlie.
Yes.
We put that on with the Economic Development Corporation here in New York, which is really meant to further move New York City into the center of the universe for global prop tech. There's great stuff happening in other cities and other countries in the world, and Voucher is one of the leaders globally in prop tech. Connor also knows what's happening outside the U.S., but New York is really the center of the universe, and we work hard to maintain that. So during November 11th to November 15th, you'll have thousands and thousands of people, prop tech people, almost like aliens, invading North America, invading New York State, invading New York City to attend up to 12, it looks like, events this year, all over Manhattan primarily.
Let's do it.
All around prop tech, various topics. There's great keynote speakers from the large owners and developers in town to the large asset managers, to the large brokerage firms, to the large venture capitalists, to the specialist venture capitalists, great startup CEOs. It's really going to be a bang up great event series this year. We're really, really excited. I think Voucher's coming with something like 2 or 3 dozen folks from the Netherlands, believe it or not.
Strong showing.
Yeah, we have huge delegations coming from Japan, from Western Europe, from Central Europe, Latin America. It's a great time to be in New York. I encourage everybody to be here. If we had one speaker who I wish we could get to come to the table for this, without question, it would be Donald Trump.
Okay. I like that.
Really love to have Donald Trump come and speak. I'm pretty sure all of our friends from around the world would have interesting things to say about that choice.
He's a real
and might
estate
even
guy.
throw rotten fruit.
He's a real estate guy.
He is a real estate
Big real
guy.
estate guy.
Love him or hate him, it'd be interesting.
Yes.
We like controversy.
Yeah.
We love controversy at our events. We love people to say provocative things. There is no one that I can think of in the real estate space who says more provocative things than Donald Trump. In all seriousness, though, we would really like to have someone more like President Obama, who have actually spent time supporting technology and being involved in the real estate world. I think a little bit of a different perspective, not
Sure.
having grown up in pure real estate, but having to play with some large real estate players and tech players would be really special. We haven't had as much beyond the local government perspective. We've had folks from the governor's office, folks from the mayor's office, the EDC be speakers, but I think it's time to bring prop tech in New York during New York City Real Estate Tech Week to the global stage, and I think that starts with us in the national political scene, acknowledging that real estate and technology together is an important part of our economy.
Yeah. Starts here. Prop Tech Place, right here.
So one more question, and it's a big question, so we expect a big answer. You know, technology shifting a lot in real estate. What do you see in the next 5 years being some of the biggest shifts in these verticals that you're investing in, looking at, supporting. Where are you seeing the shifts, and what do you foresee for the future in technology and real estate?
Well, the long-term lease will go away.
Okay. I mean, you're seeing that with WeWork.
The real
obviously.
estate broker, as we currently know it, will go away.
Got to evolve. Got to evolve.
I say this for your benefit.
And listen.
You're a young man. You're going to have to plan your next career. No, I mean, if our startups are doing, we joke, we've known each other a while. If we're doing our job well and the entrepreneurs are doing their jobs well, some of the things that we do will totally transform. There will still be leases, but they're going to look and feel a lot different than they have. And what's the average lease term now in New York City? Under 7 years, yeah?
5 years.
Yeah, I think that's going to continue to move down over time. Some things, a lot of buildings are going to be built in factories or with machines that look more like the machines that assemble automobiles in the future. Yeah, component
more
parts.
about
Modular construction for sure is coming. Distribution's getting figured out, whether it be on the intermodal or local manufacturing. For modular, I think we're starting to see some real wins being put on the board there, and some new technologies of how building components are printed that can really make a big difference in the next 15 or 20 years. Of course, data is going to be driving everything that we do. We have to be very, very careful. There's a lot of data. There can be a lot of garbage data. There can be too many places to go look for the data. Mm-hmm. That's today. In the future, I think we're going to have much easier access. If you look at some of the things that we've done manually over the past few years in real estate, everything from abstracting a lease, for example, to previewing a space, for example, a lot of that's all going to change. We're already seeing cracks in that. And one of the things I think we're going to see quite a bit of is the autonomous vehicles and mobility improvements that technology is enabling, really affecting the development patterns and the commuting patterns for occupiers, owners, and managers of real estate over time. I think we'll see plenty of densification in the urban areas, but also in the outlying areas, we're going to see different use types than we've ever seen before, because getting around is going to be so much easier. So there's a lot of change coming in a very short amount of time. If you look at the data says we're 4 to 5 years behind financial services technology. I did a TED Talk a few weeks ago, and in the TED Talk, compared it to the time when we used to sit in line at the drive-through at the bank. Remember those pneumatic, those tubes, yeah, that would go up and take your check, and you would get the money back. We don't do that. Who's done that? Who's gone through a drive-through and talked to a teller lately? With all due respect to TD Bank. With the teller that's open 7 days a week in my neighborhood, I've never seen anybody there. If you think about ATMs, right? We used to only, be able to take money out. Now we can do a whole bunch of things at an ATM. In fact, some of us never even touch cash and are just Apple Paying everywhere we go, or Google Paying. So you think about what's happened in financial services. It's really changed our lives. In our life, maybe not yours, but in Eric's and my lifetime, we've seen a lot of change. I think, Eric, we're going to see tremendous change to that similar type of degree in the real estate space. The way we engage with real estate, use real estate, touch real estate, finance real estate, buy real estate, everything's going to change the same way it has in the financial services world. To our perspective,
Yeah.
The same thing will happen in the real estate world.
Get ready.
Get ready. Buckle up.
Get ready. All right, so we'll leave off two more things, just kind of your personal mantra, ethos, words to live by, and then we'll just get into the last part. But what is Aaron Block's ethos, mantra, words to live by? Kind of you could give somebody to, be productive possibly with their day or their week or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Just do it.
I've heard that one before. I like that.
Thank you.
We're sticking with that one?
Yeah, it's original.
Okay, good. Do you have a question that you could propose? I don't think I told you about this, but throwing you a little loop. A question that you could propose to maybe the prop tech community that maybe you want to get a little feedback from, and they can tag you in the comments and answer, or send you a private message, whatever it may be.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Which area of prop tech have you actually used successfully in your day-to-day life? Whether you're a venture capitalist, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a practitioner in the space, what prop tech have you actually used that has made a difference in your life? Tag me, tag Charlie, tag that company, tag that entrepreneur.
like
I think it'd be really interesting to see some of the results of this. You know, real estate people think about NOI, they think about IRR, they think about what money is coming back to them. Well, the money only comes back if it's actually making a difference, if there's utility. I want to see some great examples in this LinkedIn feed of technologies that have actually made a difference.
Good, good. Let's go. All right, that's it. I appreciate your time. We're gonna wind it down. Get the book. If you haven't got it, get another one.
PropTech101.com, bestseller on Amazon, by the way.
All right, that's it. And you got to sign this for Eric over here. It's been. Cool. Hey,
I'd also like to thank Comlend.
Comloan.
Comloan.
Comloan. You'll thank them. They'll thank you.
It's the thanks that keeps on thanking.
Exactly. I like
Thanks, Shirley. Thanks for everything. Looks just like it.